and thank you for joining us. As you know, my name is Laurie, and I am your host today from Family Law Services Online. Today, we have the pleasure of Linda Benn. Linda is a holistic health coach. So, welcome, Linda, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Laurie. Great to be here.
It's lovely to have you here. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do?
So, health coach really encompasses, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the energetic, and the spiritual. And that's the areas I've always focused on for over 20 years since I've been in business.
Yep. So, why do you do this work? Such a personal piece of work. Why this?
I'm passionate about helping humanity to
Yep.
shift consciousness, to expand awareness, to come back to their heart, to be their true authentic self, because I've noticed a lot of suffering and struggle that
Yep.
people go through, and we're on this journey for such a short time, and it doesn't have to be painful and hard and struggling all the time. So it's really coming back to your heart and just trusting who you are, and following your guidance. So I
Mhm.
really reconnect people back to their higher self so they can make the choices to move them through step by step on their journey.
Yep. And have you worked with people who have gone through that separation and divorce process? Because often they can be, stuck and just struggling to reconnect with themselves too during that process.
Definitely. So my last client who I was working with last year, well, she went through a separation and then divorce, and she was devastated because she thought that the break that they were having, that her husband would be coming back,
Yep.
and he didn't come back. And so I supported her through that journey and empowered her to really come back, into her authenticity, but to believe in herself again. And she lost, and this happens with many relationships. People lose their identity
Mm,
and lose their confidence or
yeah.
self-esteem, or different things happen, and it's just slowly eroded and eroded. And she had massive health issues, she wasn't working, and so now she's got a really good full-time job in a director role. Her health is great. She's bought her own townhouse. She's so empowered. She wants to now start an online business to help other people.
Oh,
And
that's amazing.
so she's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. And isn't it funny how you can start off in a relationship and you go, I'm still me and the relationship is something separate, and we continue down that journey. And then without even realizing it, just slowly time, creeps in, and that loss of self identity. And you
Yes.
start to go, well, who are you? And you go, well, I'm a mum, or I'm a wife, and you attach that self identity to the relationship or to your role in that relationship.
Exactly. And that happens to so many people. And this is where doing your own inner work, both parties doing your own inner work and personal growth and development, is so critical for both parties to do your own inner work, so that you're not looking for the other person to fill up that emptiness, or to heal that wound, or to heal whatever it is that's missing
Yep.
inside of you, that could go back to childhood. And so the more you can do your own personal growth and development work, well, then you're vibrating at a high energy frequency, and ultimately your partner will be as well. And then you enhance one another, and then you just enjoy each other's company, you grow together, and you do things together to co-create whatever life that you choose to create
Yep.
together.
but
with
always,
same values and goals, and so it's a team.
yeah,
Mm.
I love that. So do you think that's something that people really need to, if anything, take out of this, is that maintaining their own self-identity and being true to them going forward in a relationship post-separation? It doesn't matter where you are in that spectrum at the end of the day, just remembering that you are an individual and you've got to focus on that.
Exactly. And also clean up your own backyard, and really look at, the painful points,
Yeah.
because we all have wounds and we've all gone through different experiences through life. So it's not about blaming anyone else. It's about taking responsibility. Okay,
Mhm.
this happened to me, and now I choose this, because things don't happen to you, they happen for you. So it's about looking at what is the positive learning from that event or that experience that I can learn from. And this is why we keep attracting different people into our lives, because everyone's a mirror for each other. And so relationships is a beautiful learning playground.
Mhm.
Everyone who chooses to come into a relationship, though it's important to come into that relationship as healed, whole, and healthy within oneself, and then finding another person who is also healed, whole, and healthy. And then, like I said, you enhance each other's lives. When there's this neediness or desperation or other lower vibration energy going
Mhm.
on, and that becomes a codependent relationship, and that's where it becomes very unhealthy and becomes quite toxic. And this is where the relationship just spirals down,
Yeah. Okay.
unfortunately. And it's more unfortunate if children are involved.
Very much so, because then they're just exposed to that toxicity.
Exactly, as well as then, going through that separation, and, because their parents are their role models, but then children also choose their parents
Yep.
to learn and grow. So again, it's not about blaming or holding resentment towards either one. It's like looking at, okay, the learnings.
Mhm.
It's all a positive learning. Yeah.
So how do you, if you're in a relationship and you do have that lower vibration, how do you recognize that for yourself?
Well, it usually comes down to your behaviors, what's um, what behaviors are triggering you, and this is where addictions come in. Then it's also old limiting beliefs and programs and patterns that are
Mm.
happening, and habits. And then, this will then lead into other things, because it's just a dominoes effect. So if you're running the old program on, I'm not good enough, and I'm unworthy, and I'm unlovable, and I've been rejected and abandoned, you know, from a child, and then, nobody loves me. But then you find someone who is a match to you, and everyone's, a mirror for us. So you find someone else who's also feeling unworthy and unlovable, and running those same patterns.
Mhm.
And then you come together, and then, it's a bit of a disaster, unfortunately.
Yep.
So it's about really recognizing first that, okay, something in my life is not working. This is not healthy. I'm drinking too much, I'm eating too much, I'm gambling, I'm, whatever the addiction is, um or if the wife is nagging, the husband's like, I don't want to go home because she's always nagging. So I'll go out with my mates, or I'll go to the pub, or I'll go,
So that
find
avoidance.
to avoid, you know, that conversation, or it could be an argument, and then throw kids in to that mix
Yeah.
as well, and that just puts more responsibility and commitment on both parties, and who's going to raise the children.
Yep.
So
Mm.
it's really about looking at your pain points and cleaning up those pain points.
And having, I suppose, the self-awareness to actually identify that you are struggling. And that could just be listening to your gut at the
That's
end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. And looking at all areas in your life of what's working, what's not working,
Yeah.
and where can I improve,
Yeah.
and what needs to change. And so this is, could be the environment, your career, other relationships, because if it's other family members, getting involved, or in-laws, or I remember, like Christmas time, so many people would go, oh, Christmas, I have to get together with the family. And it
Yeah.
was such a drudgery. And when I lived in California, Thanksgiving is a huge, big
Oh, yeah. Yep.
family get together. It's a 4-day long weekend. And this is where all families get together for Thanksgiving. So I'd hear all the stories about all these people that were dreading getting together with their family or the in-laws. So there was there was a lot of energy going on, because people were
Mm-hmm.
stressed about this family event. And what came up for them was, all the emotions: fear, anger, frustration, losing control because it was, they had to go to keep the family peace. So what I do with people is to look at what emotions are coming up for you, and then being able to be in the same room with those people. You don't have to be BFFs, but to be neutral and just accept them for who they are. You're not trying to change them. You're not trying to do anything. You're just accepting them, and feeling neutral within yourself. And families are a great one
Oh,
to test us, because they know where all our buttons are,
don't
and they
they just, yep.
go bing, and then it's like "Rah, rah, 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 rah," and the reaction happens. So or the bickering starts,
Yeah.
and then that just becomes quite toxic, especially if there's a lot of bickering and people talking about each other behind their backs and things like that. So
And I
it,
think that's a really valid point too, because I mean, whilst we're focused here on our work from a personal relationship perspective, relationships are throughout our lives, their family, their co-workers, their friends, their neighbors, you know, other parents that your kids go to school with. We have to have relationships with a multitude of people, and you're not bound to get on with everyone. And so it's being able to find your ability to just accept them and not lose any stress or become anxious over that interaction for yourself.
yeah, exactly. Because as soon as you get hooked into what they're doing or not doing, well, then you're actually giving it energy and power. And then you've got this whole struggle going on. More for you, it's quite stressful, and
Yep.
and can, cause sleepless nights, and then whatever's going on, you may then talk to X, Y, and Z all these other people about, did you see what she was doing, or did you, especially at like a schoolyard or
Yep.
um,
And they might not even realize that you've got this internal conflict dialogue going on with them.
they're
That's,
just getting on with their lives and not
yep.
giving it any thought, attention. Um, the us human beings, we're funny little creatures, but we're actually all connected energetically. And this is, over the years, consciousness has shifted so much. And so the ESP, we are so powerful that all we need to do is think of the person or give energy to this person, and they can pick up on that thought.
Mm. So, Linda, if people want to work with you more, how can they get in touch?
So website is the easiest, lindabenn.com. I
Mhm.
also have Facebook groups. So I've got the Ben Method with Linda Benn. So that's a free Facebook group where I'm posting daily.
Yep.
People can interact and ask questions there. And so Facebook plus Instagram, join my mailing list, then I can actually, educate and help
Yeah.
you with lots of tips. I send out weekly tips on, just inspirational tips to bring your energy up. So, and but website, they can go to any of my programs, classes, meditations. There's a free gift for a downloadable meditation for adrenal exhaustion. I do a new moon and a full moon meditation every month. I've got a membership site where they can actually do group coaching as well, and then join the 5R renewal program. The webinars are free. So everything's on the website, and then they can have a look and pick whatever resonates with them, and also set up a free chat with me and ask any questions.
That sounds great. And we'll put the links to your website and your Facebook groups below the video for anyone who wants to follow through and connect with you. And I would really encourage that you do at least take Linda up on her offer of having a free chat, because it will be well worth your time.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Linda, for joining us today.
Thank you, Laurie. Great to see you again, and great to be here and share with your listeners.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.